So today I'm going to dive into this story. This guy named Josue, who ended up reaching out to and actually lived out the consequences of reaching out to. People around him ended up getting hurt, passed away, and it's just a really creepy story. I'm going to go ahead and add clips throughout this video, but if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe. If you've been here, thank you for coming back, and let's get to it. Hi guys, so I'm gonna do my makeup while I tell this story. I was gonna do my makeup first and then tell it, but I feel like that's gonna take a lot longer. Plus, like right now, it seems like the clouds are moving in and it looks like it's gonna rain, so I don't want to lose the light. And I hate using my ring light because it gives me like such flashback, not flashback, but it just washes me out, and I really don't want to deal with that. So I'm hoping that I can be able to do my makeup and tell this story, because I do zone out a lot even when I'm speaking, so hopefully I can deal with this. But so today's story, I ended up listening to this story from another YouTuber. I'm hoping that I'll be able to find her, and I'll put the link on the description. But when I listened to her story and when she showed the clips, it literally creeped me out. Like, you can sense that it's real only because of just the clip itself, not just that, the people involved, everything that happened to them. It seems too much of a coincidence because of the whole storyline. So I was really interested in this story, and I'm like, oh my. And even right now, like as I'm telling it, like I started getting freaked out. Like my room is all quiet and I started hearing little noises as I was starting to tell it, and I was like, oh crap, like maybe I shouldn't like talk about stuff like this. But then I like went to go check next to my bed because my dog loves to hide there, and she's laying on the next to the bed, like in a corner where you can't really see her. And I was like, okay, she's the one making the noises, I'm fine, I can be able to do this, I'm gonna try. So this story is about a radio station where it's a Spanish radio station where they would call in and pretty much talk about paranormal things that would happen to people. The callers will call in and tell their stories. I never knew about such radio station. I really wish there was one right now that I could listen to like this. I wasn't too familiar about it, but I did end up asking my mom, and she knew about it. And I'm like, what the heck? You should have told me about this radio station. But I guess the host died pertaining to the story, so that's the reason that it's not around anymore. And I guess in the Hispanic world, it was kind of a big deal, and a lot of people really know about this. So, but anyway, that's not the point. The point is, okay, so this guy, his name is Josue. He ended up calling to the station, and he was talking about how when he was younger, when he was around 14 years old, his family life got really desperate. They were really in poor conditions. He just got tired of living poor. I'm assuming, you know, it just gets to that point where you just get fed up, and that's when, you know, people start stealing and people start like robbing homes. You know, you just get into that desperate state. And he's a teenager. You know, teenagers, they don't really they think in the spot, but they don't think about consequences. And he stated that I guess he had been praying for so long to get help for him and his family, to just get help. Please, God, help us. And since he wasn't getting any response from up above, he started looking down below. So he actually started looking into witchcraft, started looking into finding a specific book where he could be able to summon, and he would pray to, and he would let him know, like, hey, like, I'll make a deal with you. I guess he wasn't prepared to make a deal to give up his soul or whatever, but he was trying to make some type of deal. He said that he was so desperate that he was willing to kill someone. Like, that would be his part in order to like gain prosperity or whatever. But he was that desperate. I guess he ended up finding this specific book in the witchcraft where he was able to do something like that, where he's able to do a deal where he doesn't have to give up his soul. I'm not even gonna bring up the book. I'm not gonna like say the name of any of the specific person that he was, or I don't even know what to call it, like entity. I'm not gonna name the specific entity he was looking for, because he did actually put the name of it, I don't know what to call it. Yeah. He put the name of the book and he put the name of the entity, and I really don't want to, you know, put that out there. So I'm just gonna say he did find this specific book, and he did do the spell, or whatever you call it. I'm not sure if it's a spell or just a prayer to. So I guess in one of the times where he had found this book, he ended up finding like a, what do you call it, like an incantation or something, to be able to communicate with said being. And I guess one of the rituals required him to like, you know, hurt himself. I think there's certain words that you can't say on YouTube, but you know, he pretty much cut his wrist so that way he could be able to, and I'm sorry, trigger warning, there's a lot of stuff that he did, so just, you know, be careful what you listen to, because and I've not experienced it, but I've witnessed where like there's certain things that if they're said out loud, it does trigger you. It does trigger things that you didn't know that you would be triggered from. So just warning, there is a lot of the story is a lot. So anyway, he ended up hurting himself in order to complete this ritual and bring this being, you know, to bringing this being to be able to speak to him. So he did end up doing it. Someone did appear, and he ended up speaking to this being and letting him know what he wanted. At first, I guess he was told to, like, I'm assuming like they're trying to see how far you're willing to go. So he was told to like sacrifice animals and how to do it, and he was told to like steal a baby and put it in an altar and do another sacrifice, like. And I guess he was feeling like, okay, I'm doing all these things and I'm not getting anything back. Like, is this gonna work or what? I know we're not all the same, and I know we can all handle different things, but just like listening to his story, like it sounds like he like you're listening to a radio station or whatever where he's talking about all this, but he like did all these things to get what he wanted just for money, and he wanted money, cars, women, a big house. He kept saying it over and over. You can hear the like terror in his voice as he's telling these things, because it gets to a point where he's getting frustrated because he's doing all these things and he's not getting anything in return. And it was like, okay, maybe this guy who appeared is not the one that can help me. Maybe I should keep doing these rituals. Maybe I should keep praying to, you know, so that way I can get the right one, because whoever appeared to him, it was just one of the minions, you know. It wasn't, you know, the actual. So he actually kept trying to see if there was anyone else that would help him, because he felt like he was doing a little too much for him, and you're not doing nothing for me. And in another event, I guess someone else came, and again he told him what he wanted and what he was willing to do. And I guess in one instance they offered him a specific ring. I guess it's a ring that's tied to, and I'm not even gonna, like I said, I'm not gonna be too specific with these things, because I don't want people to like go out and look for it because of me putting it out there. But there's a specific ring, and I guess they told him, if you have this ring, pretty much anytime you call out to this specific entity, they will come. So it's like he wears the ring, and that's a communication between, or a connection between the entity and himself. So he was actually really desperate to get this ring, and he was told, in order to get this ring, you need to sacrifice someone, someone close to you that means a lot to you. And he kind of thought about it, and he's like, well, I love my mom, I love my brothers, so I can't do it to them, because the reason I'm doing all of this is for them. So he actually thought about sacrificing his grandmother. And as he's talking about this, he literally like starts crying, and he starts like kind of like, it's just the guilt is coming in, and so he starts kind of getting really upset about the fact that it seems like he really did do this. Like, he talks about, he didn't say specifically what he did to her, but he did start saying that he used what is that stuff called? He used that stuff where, like, you know, like when people get kidnapped or whatever, they put that stuff in the cloth and then they cover your mouth so that you can go to sleep. I don't know what it's called, so I'm gonna like look for it and I'll put it up here. But there's just some times where I can't remember specific words. And he used this sleeping agent on her, and then he actually did a sacrifice. He actually ended up hurting his grandmother. He, in his mind, he thought, well, she's lived long enough, so she's the best person for me to be able to sacrifice, so that way we can all live in wealth. And it's so sad, like, when he starts talking about it, and I don't know if all these stories are real, but him talking about it, just the specific detailing, it feels like it is real. So if he did do this, he pretty much committed murder in order to, you know, live a life of prosperity.
Este niño tenía que dar a un familiar. Yo no sé si tontamente o cómo actué. Dije, mi madre pues no la quiero mucho. Mis hermanos pues no, porque por eso lo estoy haciendo. Y pensé en mi abuela. Le dije, sí, ya está grande, ya vivió, perdón. Entonces me indicaron cómo tenía yo que hacer todo eso, y a mi abuela la maté. Bueno, no debo decirlo así. Me duele porque el arrepentimiento me ha llegado, pero no puedo salirme de aquí, porque sé que todo lo que he logrado hasta este momento, al momento de no sé, de romper el enlace que tengo con estos seres a los que ya no he visto, con los que ya no he visto físicamente, lo perdería. A mi abuela recuerdo que la dormí con formol, y repitiendo las oraciones y todo eso, bueno, hice lo que tuve que hacer.
My battery died. I don't know why that does that. Anyway, so after doing this sacrifice, obviously you're doing something really bad. So he ended up actually opening a bigger door than he already has, because obviously when you mess with this stuff, you open doors. So he ended up opening a bigger door, and he actually started seeing more entities. Like, they would sit there and like mess with him and pretty much ridicule him and kind of embarrass him. Like, why did you do this? Why did you kill your own grandmother? Like, what did you do it for? Just money? Like, they would sit there and just mess with him. And now, like, he opened the store, so obviously they can come in and out whenever they feel like it, and they would appear to him like real people. He says that he didn't really like finish school. He ended up actually only doing elementary school, but because he had made these sacrifices, he was getting some sort of like special treatment. So he ended up registering to this university, and he actually got accepted even though he only went to elementary. But he was getting he was getting advanced because of what he did. But he did state that, I guess, like, he would get money, like a lot of money out of nowhere. Like, he would win it in the casino or whatever. So he would get like a large amount of money. So but the problem is he wasn't able to spend it on the things that he wanted to spend it on. He wasn't able to help his family. He wasn't able to give it to someone in need. He said that, like, if he gained $10,000 in one day, he had to spend it that day. Like, and it had to be frivolous. Like, he wasn't allowed to spend it on something good. It had to be frivolous spending. So what he would do is just go in the mall. He would buy like a really ridiculous expensive ring, but then he would actually put more money towards it, which is really ridiculous. Like, you did all this so that way you could live better, but it's kind of like they're making fun of you. Like, like, you're getting the money, but you're not gonna spend it on things that you want. You're gonna spend it on things that we want. So the reason he found out that he couldn't even spend it on anything good was the fact that, I guess, one day he overheard someone at his job, I think, saying that they were in really big need. They really needed money. They were struggling. So of course the kindness, I mean, he has some sort of kindness in his heart, I'm assuming. I mean, I don't know, after doing whatever he did to his grandmother, but after hearing this man, you know, tell his side of the story about how after hearing this man in need, he ended up helping the man and giving him some money. But when he got home, he actually ended up being pretty much spiritually attacked by and he literally named the details of the woman. And I'll go ahead and add a clip so that way you guys can like kind of follow along with me.
Estoy platicando con ustedes y es esta persona aquí. Es una sensación verdaderamente como nunca lo había sentido.
Sí, tranquilo.
Escucho que me está gritando. Yo tengo otro nombre que no les daré en esta ocasión.
Claro.
Un nombre real, o sea, tengo. No, se están escuchando, por ejemplo, muchos ruidos ahorita. Eso es común, eso no me espanta. Lo que me espanta es lo que trae en la mano.
¿Qué trae en la mano?
No, espérate. Oh, por Dios, soy más Dios. Me tranquilicé. Tengo en mi poder este anillo que me dieron, con lo que puedo dominar muchas cosas. Trae en la mano es un símbolo, no sé cómo se llama, pero les explicaré cómo es. Es una punta como si fuese de flecha, que trae como si fuese una cruz cristiana invertida, y en el puño trae un ojo de cristal o algo así. Yo sé que eso es muy malo porque a mí me dijeron que cuando yo viera eso me iba a morir. Pero yo me puedo controlar, no me va a pasar nada.
Por supuesto que se puede controlar usted. Sí. ¿Qué pasa?
Me molesta. Perdón, son palabras que tengo que pronunciar para que no se me acerque. Ya se está yendo. Se está yendo. Fíjese que una de las ocasiones en estos días, la noche, no de ayer, sino de antier, esa mujer se me acercó y me empezó a besar y me empezó a tocar, me empezó así como si fuera, no sé, su novio, un comportamiento, sí me explico,
claro,
¿verdad?
Un comportamiento sexual.
Bueno, después me dijo que yo tenía que hacer ciertas cosas con ella en esa ocasión, pues porque yo había dadole dinero a esta persona, ¿no? Y que yo bien sabía que ya eran muchas las veces que yo cometía errores y que ya eran muchas las veces en que yo por otras, yo lo remediaba por otras cosas y que eso ya no se me iba a tolerar más. Es que me da mucho miedo porque yo no me quiero morir.
So he's pretty much describing like him getting home and the fact that they were waiting for him. I'm 100% sure that whenever he made this deal, he was given rules. Obviously, like, you know, they have their rules too. And they must have told him like, hey, you can have whatever you want. You're just gonna spend it the way we want it. You're just gonna have it the way we want it. Like, you're not gonna get everything just given to you. So because he didn't listen, that's when they started kind of going against him. So he ended up coming home after helping this person, and they were sitting there waiting. There was a specific woman that he was describing in the radio station when he was talking to the radio host, and he started describing like how she looked, like what she was doing, like, oh, she's sitting in front of me, and you can hear how scared he was. Like, I'm gonna play a clip right here. You can hear how scared he is. That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't even know if this is like not a real story. Like, it sounds like it's real. To me, it sounds like it's real because I don't know if anyone can really fake. I don't know if anyone can fake this. Like, you can't fake being that scared. And just the pure terror that he is like showing. I don't know. Honestly, like, just hearing it creeps me the like I said, you can't be that great of an actor, but at the same time, like, when you're messing with stuff like this, like, come on, like, you know what you're getting into. You know, once he started like really getting into witchcraft and started like doing these rituals, and once he started, I'm sorry, it looks so bright. It looks so bright on camera, and in real life it looks a lot lighter. What the hell, camera? Just have to brush my hair. I don't know, it's like, I don't know why a lot of people get surprised. Like, you're messing with stuff that you're not supposed to be messing with. If you're researching into these books, if you're researching into these rituals, if you're researching about the people that you're, or entities that you're reaching out to, you should already know what are the consequences. It's not something you mess with. So I feel like now that like he kind of saw what they could do to him, that they're not messing around, and pretty much you're not gonna get what you wanted. You're gonna get kind of what you wanted, but through their terms. So I mean, you're not gonna become rich overnight and then just things are gonna be better. It's just not gonna happen. So I'm gonna go ahead and end the video here, only because number one, I don't want to make the video too long, and number two, like, I'm creeping myself out listening to these little clips. I'm gonna go ahead and do a part 2, but in part 2 I'll go ahead and show you guys like just how all these events ended up hurting not just Josue, but they actually ended up extending to the people around him. And I mean, in real life, this is not just like a fake story. Well, I don't know about his story, but I'm saying like in general, it's not a fake story, because the people that are surrounded him are surrounded this story. They actually either passed away, got hurt, or something. So if you're interested in part 2, make sure you comment below, like the video, and if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.